breaking, Bridget.
I will try to keep this quick. In the course of about a week's time, in many cases in the course of 3 days, Brianna Kupfer, Sandra Shells, Michelle Go, and Crystal Bayron-Nieves were all senselessly murdered in New York and Los Angeles. One was a 70-year-old nurse. She was killed at a bus stop. That was Sandra. Brianna was senselessly killed, 24 years old, working in a furniture shop in Los Angeles. Michelle Go was pushed in front of a train in New York City, senseless by a crazy person with mental illness. Crystal was a 19-year-old working a late shift at Burger King who wanted to be a nurse and was from Puerto Rico in New York City. And this is what I've been screaming for many, many years here on Dumpster Fire, is that in big cities, it's become apparently clear that when you scapegoat police, you justify criminals' behaviors, and you prioritize them over the safety of your citizens, that the most vulnerable populations are the people who are going to suffer. And that's not even just the poor who disproportionately suffer in any kind of situation, but also just women and elderly and children. They're the ones who are going to suffer. Women are disproportionately going to suffer from letting all these criminals go free, not treating the mental illness crisis that we have. All of these people have long rap sheets. They all should not have been on the streets. They are all proven to be dangerous to themselves and people around them. And all of this could have been prevented, and yet now we have just senseless loss of life. And it's tragic, and it makes me crazy because I don't feel safe. I don't feel like my government gives a shit about me. They prioritized all of this, homelessness, criminals, over the safety of their own citizens. And this is happening in big cities everywhere. Not to mention the fact that when you look at the numbers of just citizens being killed in big cities like Chicago, I mean, these are 4 people, and they're just the 4 that kind of rose to the top in that 1 week news cycle. This is happening all the time. Or instances where people aren't getting killed, like the woman who got mugged with her baby. There was a grandma down in Venice who got attacked by a homeless person and attacked a 9-month-old infant and tried to take the 9-month-old infant. Like, this is happening all the time in these cities, and it is like Gotham, and it's horrific. At what point, you see these people, these vigils, and I'm like, at what point do you recognize that you're voting for this stuff? Our leaders are making these decisions, but you are voting for them. Citizens in these, I voted to recall Gascon in LA. You have to hold these people accountable. They don't just get to march out when somebody gets murdered after years of people saying, hey, we don't feel safe. Why aren't you doing anything? And say, oh, we're going to get tough on crime suddenly after you've been supporting defunding the police. Imagine spending the money that you spend paying taxes to have your daughter freaking murdered while she's at work.
Yeah. Like in the afternoon.
Yeah. It is outrageous. Imagine your 19-year-old daughter trying to make ends meet. She's trying to save money to go to nursing school, and he robs her, takes $100, and then shoots her anyway. The other thing about this that drives me crazy is you talk about like the radical, we had that crazy killer in Denver who went on a rampage recently as well, killed a bunch of women. And he was allegedly radicalized by kind of like the manosphere on the right wing. And everybody on the left was like, oh, he was radicalized by the media, and the media needs to hold itself accountable, and right-wing media is instilling all these grievances. Well, the guy who killed Crystal was screaming, where are my reparations, when he was being arrested. And so there's grievances being fed to populations everywhere, and there's blood on the fucking media's hands for creating this kind of division and anger and rage that is existent in our population. Stop feeding people grievance and rage. People are dying and are going to continue dying because of this. This shit makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I do care about this.
Yeah. It makes me want to cry. I mean, just listening to you talk about it, I was like getting choked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. The only job of government is to protect its citizens. What do we fucking need you for, if not that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you for anything else. Make nice roads. Make sure I don't get murdered. Like, that's what else are you supposed? That's like basic bottom line shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even do that. So what good are you? And here in California and New York, we're paying higher taxes than anyone so that we can live in constant fear.
Right.
Yeah.
And our criminals and our homeless population, which, by the way, I don't think they should be dehumanized and like not taken care of, but they don't get to. These are people who have made choices and have proven that they can't control their own behavior, should be prioritized over the citizens who are just trying to like live their life. My entire neighborhood is building walls, which I find hilariously ironic. And the people who are voting for this are building walls
Around their houses.
Put it together, people.
Yeah.
You're voting for this shit. Stop voting for it. Wake the up. I hope people are waking up. This doesn't mean I want like some crazy Gestapo law and order society, but a little bit. I shouldn't every single walk I go on. I have to bring mace. I don't wear headphones anymore. I don't feel safe. Every single time I have to divert because there's someone crazy that I need to avoid. Like, this is a regular part of my day, and it shouldn't be normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we shouldn't be allowing these criminals who've made so many like Brianna's killer.
11
times. Arrests.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The last one, he was let off on like $1,000 bail, and he shot a flare gun into a car with a child in it.
And these are people who have no remorse. Like, that guy went and bought some fucking candy at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
They're not.
They don't care.
No.
Yeah, but they're not. It's like mentally illness.
Yeah,
right.
they're not there.
You can't have mentally ill criminals running loose in your cities.
Yeah.
Dangerous individuals.
And that on top of somebody like Gascon, who says that assault with a deadly weapon is not considered assault, is like, also f***ed up.
That's like someone was telling me, and I have to fact check this, but armed robbery in New York is now a misdemeanor. Are you kidding me? If there's no consequences for this stuff, it is gonna be like Gotham.
There's no deterrent.
Yeah. You can't. It's not fair to people who are law-abiding citizens. You can't go to parks anymore. Like, this is insanity. Again, it's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to take the red and the blue out of the equation and start voting with common sense.
But stop voting for people who are willing to prioritize criminals over you.
Yeah.
Because that's nonsense. And rest in peace to all those women, because it's tragic. I've been crying about it for like 2 weeks. I can't even.
Yeah.
Women are going to pay for this.